This is the Redmi Note 5 Pro, the phone that has got max attention in recent months, max appreciation as far as the mid-range smartphones are concerned, and max curse for its limited stocks, which are getting sold out in few seconds apparently. And the fun fact is, the phone is sold more on OLX than the official MI site and Flipkart collectively. So this is the review you all have been wanting to see, and this is basically everything that you all wanted to know about the Redmi Note 5 Pro. Hey guys, Vidit here and you're watching VDiaries, and this is my full review of the Redmi Note 5 Pro. Let's roll the intro. Now before we jump into the details, if you're a visitor here, then don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And if you end up liking what you see and appreciate the effort that goes into making such contents, then don't forget to drop a like as well. Coming back to the phone, I have been using this 6GB black variant of Redmi Note 5 Pro for just over a month, and it does feel premium in hands. And if you notice closely, it actually looks different from any other Xiaomi phones that we have seen in the past. With all those differences, it does resemble the iPhone 10 when it comes to the rear camera placement. But this is not the first time that iPhone design has been copied. But if you compare the pricing for a phone that cost 15,000 rupees or roughly $230, Xiaomi has offered a lot, and it does seem to be a good option to opt for, maybe just in case you are not ready to spend $1,000 for a phone. The base variant of Redmi Note 5 Pro, which has 4GB of RAM, that comes for 15,000 rupees. Yes, Xiaomi has increased the price by 1,000 rupees, which is now roughly $230, and the top variant is priced at 17,000 rupees or roughly $280, which has 6GB of RAM. Other than the RAM difference, both these variants share the same specs and even the same 64GB storage, so that extra 2,000 rupees for additional 2GB of RAM is not at all justified. Plus 6GB RAM for such mid-level CPU is just an overkill, to be honest. Looking at the design, the phone is huge to hold in hands and mostly tall because of its stretched forehead and the chin. The metallic unibody design does look premium, at least for the back variant that I have, but feeling hands and the design in totality feels boring to me. Keeping in mind, I have used Xiaomi Note series since their Redmi Note 3 version. While the height has increased, the width has remained unchanged from Redmi Note 4. Also, the overall size is quite similar to Redmi Note 5. Bottom part of the phone, that's where all the ports are located, includes the famous 3.5mm headphone jack, which Xiaomi doesn't seem to be in mood to remove. I have tested its output with the MI Bullet headphones that I own, and the output is quite decent. Good mids and highs and good musical experience overall. Beside the headphone jack is a micro USB port, which is again old school considering their MI even had the Type-C port, which is almost an year old now. Then there is a speaker grill, which to my surprise produces loud output. I won't say the output is crisp, but it does get loud, which is an add-on if you keep the media consumption and gaming experience in your mind. The buttons on the right side are tactile, not as tactile as they were on Redmi 4, but it does give you that satisfactory feeling if you use it without the included case, obviously, because with the case it just kills the clicky experience that you have rather enjoyed with the naked body. Left side is where the hybrid SIM tray is located. You can either use 2 SIM cards or 1 SIM and an SD card. The network call quality is good, and the VoLTE support, which most of you are interested in, it's good. Nothing to complain about. I did struggle a bit in elevators to get seamless call connections, but the occurrences were very minuscule compared to the amount of calls and data I consumed on this phone. Such tall height has mostly to do with the bigger display. The display of the Redmi Note 5 Pro, which measures 6" diagonally and produces 2160 by 1080p resolution, which also comes with 18:9 aspect ratio. Because of that bigger panel, the buttons are now on the screen. Even after multiple phones with on-screen buttons, I'm still not ready to accept it. Probably I am just so much into using the hardware keys, and because of that I do end up hitting the bottom part of the applications while using the navigation buttons. But that's just me. The display quality is pretty sharp, not as good as the OLED display, but it makes the media consumption a pleasant experience. And what makes it even better is the Corning Gorilla Glass 3 protection that the display has. At the back is where all the fun part is located. The famous dual camera with their infamous placement. The main camera is a 12 megapixel sensor with f2.2 aperture and a 1.25 micron pixel size. The 5 megapixel secondary sensor has f2 aperture and 1.12 micron pixel size. The secondary lens is used to capture the depth information for the portraits. This camera setup is electronically stabilized and you are limited to shoot videos only at 1080p resolution. I did try shooting 4K with a third-party application, but the phone got super hot. Well, coming back to the camera produced, I got some kick-ass output, and it was quite surprising for me to see such an incredible camera performance from mid-range smartphone that cost you only 15,000 rupees. The dynamic color range, the details, the color saturation, the white balance, they all seems to be on point. The color temperature is on the warmer side, which sometimes make the outcome looks dull, but the slight tweak in the camera editor itself corrects this shortfall. It does support portrait photography not only for the rear camera but for the front facing camera as well, which is a huge 20 megapixel sensor with 1 micron pixel size and f2.2 aperture. Both cameras have wide angle view, so you can hold the camera at a comfortable position. I have done its camera review separately, which will give you every little insight into the camera aspect of Redmi Note 5 Pro. I have also compared its camera with the Honor 7X and OnePlus 5T. I will leave a card for the closest competition that I have got for the Redmi Note 5 Pro's camera, and you will be amazed to see what it has to offer. The only major issue that I have had is with the front facing camera. It does have auto exposure issue while shooting videos. Other than that, the camera produces great for the price that you are paying. Coming to its internal, which hosts the Snapdragon 636, which can now be seen in Zenfone Max Pro, but Redmi Note 5 Pro was the first one to have it. This is a step up from the 625, which was used in tons of smartphones, including the predecessor Redmi Note 4. It is coupled with Adreno 509 GPU and it comes with 4GB and 6GB RAM options. While the benchmark scores speaks for themselves, I thoroughly enjoy the gaming on this phone and did face some heating issues while playing PUBG. If you want to witness the complete story about what actually happened, then there will be a card that will appear in the right top corner. Here you go. The phone is snappy. I mean, if you're a person who uses the phone at a faster pace, quickly changes the apps and doesn't like the lag at all, then this is the phone for you. The overall experience with this phone has been super buttery smooth. Even when I was doing its gaming review, I played some high-end graphics consuming games back to back, and when I called back the previous games from the system tray, then it managed to keep the maximum games in the memory, which is incredible, and I think I have to give the credit to that extra 2GB RAM. This giant setup and the display is powered by 4000 mAh battery, which easily lasts for more than a day with moderate usage. My usage particularly includes half an hour of calls, heavy usage of social media apps and messengers, light gaming at the end of the day, moderate consumption of YouTube mainly by my 2-year-old, and 1 hour of music playback during my daily commute. The hardware does support fast charging, but Xiaomi has not included a fast charger in the box, even for the 6GB variant, which is kind of a bummer. With the included charger, it takes almost 2.5 hours to charge the battery from 0 to 100%. It does look long, but you have to consider the size of the battery as well. But full marks to the battery management that the OS does. Speaking of the operating system, well, it's the same MIUI 9, but this time for a different aspect ratio. Even after 8 months past the Oreo release and 2 months past the Redmi Note 5 Pro launch, it is still stuck with the Android Nougat. If you have used any MIUI device before, then you'll feel like home here as well. But because of that tall aspect ratio, you can expect black bars on the top and the bottom of the display for some of the applications. MIUI itself supports full screen for many applications, but not for all. Especially when it comes to media consumption, the internal video player or YouTube for that matter, the black bars doesn't go unnoticed. You can zoom in the view to make it full screen, but it does chop off the top and bottom part of the video. Apart from this very shortfall, there are some MIUI features which you can enjoy on this phone too, like the App Twin, where you can have 2 instances of social media application from which you can operate 2 different accounts. There is a Mi remote app that uses the infrared sensor at the top to operate the appliances in your house or office. Not sure how many people actually use this, but I find it very convenient and I almost have all my applications configured in this app. There is a Mi theme store which allows you to customize the UI experience, but most of those themes are not yet compatible with this new 18:9 aspect ratio, results into black bar at the bottom like this. This theme application also has wallpapers and ringtones, which makes it a pretty sweet deal. MIUI does come with bloatwares, but you can delete most of the third-party applications. There are some internal MI UI extensions like MI Drop, Security, MI Application Store, which you can't really get rid of, and things get really annoying due to the notification that this app sends out every now and then. The overall UI experience is good, no lags, snappy, but yeah, you are stuck with those bloatwares. One of the major improvements over the Redmi Note 4 is the face unlock feature. It was pretty buggy when it came out for the first time, as if Xiaomi was in the loo rush to push it to prove something, and they failed miserably. But over the period of time and after a few updates, the accuracy has improved, but the time it takes to actually unlock using the face recognition is still long, especially if you compare it with the face unlock on OnePlus 5T. I hope this will get faster with the future updates, but currently even the Xiaomi isn't banking on this feature. Plus it is nowhere near to fingerprint scanner speed and accuracy. So we will need to wait for some time to have it actually fully working and you can actually practically use it. With this, I guess I have covered pretty much everything that I wanted to share with you guys. So do I recommend this phone to you? Sure, mainly because of its performance and camera output. Its massive battery that lasts more than a day. If you're balling into the budget of 15,000 rupees, then this phone can be a good option. There are purchase links in the description box below in case you decide to buy this one. You can use them to help my channel. As of now, it doesn't have a neck-to-neck competitor. You have Honor 7X, but its camera and CPU is inferior as compared to the Redmi Note 5 Pro. But Asus has recently launched the Zenfone Max Pro with the same CPU and with a dual lens setup at the back with bigger battery. It seems to have a lower pricing as well as compared to the Redmi Note 5 Pro. So is it going to be a killer for Redmi Note 5 Pro? Well, I cannot comment on that as of now since I haven't got my hands on the Zenfone Max Pro. But as soon as I get it, I will surely compare these phones with respect to their performance, camera and the battery backup. So stick around, subscribe to my channel, like, share, comment. And this has been Vinith, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Peace!